Xenoverse 2 DLC 17 is basically confirmed at this point in time, and there are two reasons why I say this, because it's not officially confirmed yet at this point, but if you look at how, first and foremost, the story ends in DLC 16 with what Few says, talking about how he got to make sure his next plan is a doozy, and then Supreme Kai of Time also says a big happy timeline, I could get behind that. Like, those were some pretty big cliffhangers, in my opinion, at the very least. So that, for one, shows that there still is more content to come on this game, or at the very least more content for Xenoverse in general in the future. But then also the tweet from the homie PS360 HD2 as well lets us know that, well, there is more content planned in the future for this game. Because when you really look at this tweet, and mainly the last sentence of this tweet where it says, Bandai hopes to continue and support the game and its fan base well into the future, that right there is just even like further letting us know that this game is not done. So we have the end of the story mode and this tweet right here that pretty much confirms at this point in time DLC 17 is going to be a thing. It's just a matter of when and a matter of who and what characters will actually be in this DLC, and that, my boys, is what I really want to go over and cover in this video, my predictions slash wish list, I guess you could say, at the same time, because not only am I going to be talking about the characters that I really think could be in this pack, but also I'm going to be naming even more characters that can come to Xenoverse 2 in the future as well, because one, a lot of people wonder truly what characters are left for Xenoverse 2 at this point with all the DLCs we've gotten. And then two, again, it doesn't seem like we're just going to be getting one more DLC based off of the tweet and the cliffhangers left in DLC 16. So what other characters would be even left after DLC 17, for example? So that's why I'm going to go over first and foremost my predictions slash wants, the most characters I want in DLC 17, and then also talk about some other characters that still could be added to Xenoverse 2 in the future after a DLC 17. So first, getting it started with the characters that I would really like to see, and there's kind of a pack that I've put together in my own head, and I'm calling it the Reawakened Warrior Pack. Now, the reason I'm calling it the Reawakened Warrior Pack is because these characters are all in the game already with a different form. Like, this form that I'm going to talk about individually for each of these are not in the game at this point in time, and I don't think that there would be anybody who would complain about these three characters I'm about to mention. So first and foremost, let's start it out with Majin 21. Majin 21 is an awakened version of Android 21, fitting that reawakened theme. Not only is an awakened version of the character, but she is being put into the game once again. That's why I'm calling it, like I said, Reawakened. So Majin 21 I think would be absolutely great for this game. I don't think anybody would complain about that character. I mean, just one of the coolest characters that have been made outside of the canon Dragon Ball universe. So cool that she is actually now canon in Dragon Ball. Now, not Majin 21, but Android 21, or at the very least, who Android 21 is based off of, is canon in the Dragon Ball world, and that was made possible in the superhero movie. That's how cool of a character she truly is, and to see her in Xenoverse 2 in the Majin form would be absolutely dope. Now, whether we get a good or evil version or both, that I really don't know how far they would go with, but just getting Majin 21 in some way, shape, or form for me would definitely be enough, and I would love to see that in DLC 17. Now, following this reawakened theme, another character that is in a awakened state, but at the same time has a different form in the game, would be Ikari Broly, guys. Ikari Broly, to me, is probably one of the characters I feel most people want in this game that has yet to be added. Like, when we talk about DLC predictions and DLC wish list, ever since like DLC 11 or 12, I feel like his name is one of the ones that pops up the most in the Xenoverse 2 community. Like, so many people really want this character in the game, and I definitely would as well. Like, Broly as a character to me is just very, very cool, and at the same time I feel they would have an opportunity to do something similar with what they did with base Gogeta for this version of Broly and add in some of the things that could have been missing from the movie, because base Gogeta definitely is a major upgrade from Gogeta Blue in terms of being accurate to the actual movie, right? And I think they could definitely do that with Akari Broly at the same time. Now, the last character that I feel would be in this pack, because I would probably only assume we would get a 3-character pack, maybe 4, and there's also that possibility of maybe 2, but usually it seems we've been getting 3 characters in the last couple DLCs, so I'm going to go with that trend in this one right here. The last character is one that still is an absolute slap in the face, like literally just straight across your face till this day, my boys. I am not lying when I say that, and that is Rage Trunks. The reason I say he's just a slap in the face is because, well, I mean, this man is literally in the story mode. Like, he is literally in the story mode of this game. How is he in the story mode, but he's not in the actual game as being playable? Like, even Merge Zamasu Corrupted became a playable character, even though it's only in the Crystal Raids. At least you can somewhat experience the man. You have no way of experiencing Rage Trunks till this day in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So, without a doubt, I would definitely love to see him, and again, he would follow that theme of that Reawakened Warrior pack, where it's a character that's already in the game, but it's a completely different form of said character at the same time. And yes, these 3 characters, I know a lot of people have issues with reskins and things like that, but these 3 characters right here, I would hope that they would not be done similarly to how, for example, Power Awakening Piccolo or anyone like that was done. I would hope they would be more like GT Vegeta, for example, because GT Vegeta was a character that caught everybody out of left field. Like, nobody expected that man to be as good as he actually was in terms of the sauce and uniqueness that he really brought when he was introduced in DLC 14. So again, even though they are versions of characters already in the game, I definitely think Bandai and Dimps can do them justice. I mean, we've seen a ton of fire made up skills in these last couple of DLCs, and if that needs to be done for some of these, I think they definitely can make it work and make some fire at the same time. So again, those 3 characters to me would be a very fire DLC pack without a doubt. That's why I call them like the Reawakened Warrior pack. Now, the rest of the characters that I'm going to talk about in this video, I still do want them and would love to see them, but at the same time, I don't know if they would be necessarily as possible or probable as those 3 I just mentioned, even though, let me say, Rage Trunks probably doesn't have nearly as good of a possibility as Akari Broly or Majin 21, because, well, I feel if he was to be added, he would have been in the game at this point. That's just my personal want right there when it comes to that man. But Akari Broly and Majin 21, I could definitely see being added to this game, considering the trend of adding in different versions of characters we already have in Xenoverse 2 with like these last 4 DLCs or something like that, 4 or 5 DLCs I want to say. We've been getting a lot of versions of characters already in the game, just in different forms. I mean, full power Jiren, base Gogeta, the different versions of Piccolo and Gohan. I mean, we really didn't need necessarily a Power Awakening of Piccolo and base DBS Gohan, but they still added those characters in, and there's still plenty others as well that they have added in terms of alternate forms. So I could definitely see those characters I mentioned being in DLC 17. But now, just quickly to list off some other characters that I would like to see in future DLC and potentially DLC 17, just to show that there still is a decent amount that Dimps could add in to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So getting it started with that list, guys, we have Bergamo, Basil, and Lavender, basically the trio of dangers. I mean, honestly, I think all 3 of these characters are possible for Xenoverse 2 till this day. I mean, Bergamo is literally part of the hero vote, so he definitely could come back in any DLC pack. Like, the fact that any character I feel that was in the hero vote had some kind of work done for him in some way, shape, or form before the results were actually in. So I do feel like Bergamo definitely could be a character to come back, and I would love to see his brothers at the same time. Like, honestly, let me know down below in the comments how you would feel about just a strict Trio the Dangers pack, like just those 3 as one DLC pack, because I mean, to me, that would be pretty cool. But let me know how you would feel about that down below. But with that being said, moving on to the next character, guys, I have Master Roshi. Master Roshi, you guys should know, if you've seen videos in the past about predictions and wish lists and things like that, I've wanted Master Roshi in this game for quite some time. It's very cool that he got into fighters, but it's about time the man makes it in to Xenoverse 2. So Master Roshi is definitely a character I would love to see come in future DLC on this game. Next up on the list, we got Shallot, however you want to say the man's name, from Dragon Ball Legends, the main character. Shallot is a character I think would be very cool. I've always thought that he would be in this game pretty much ever since we knew that Dimps was the ones behind Dragon Ball Legends. I really don't understand how we have Android 21 in the game, even though I'm thankful that we do, but still don't have Shallot in this game. considering that, again, Dimps is actually the one behind Dragon Ball Legends. Like, they're the developers of that game. So I would imagine it would be easier to put that character into Xenoverse 2 as opposed to Android 21, which is a game made by a completely different dev company in Arc System Works. So again, I would really love to see this character, and I still really don't know why we haven't till this day on this game, considering what Legends has been out for what, like 5 years now or something like that at this point. So I would definitely love to see him without a doubt. Next up though, guys, I have Garlic Jr. and Hachiyak. Garlic Jr. and Hachiyak are two of the only movie villains, I believe they're actually the only two movie villains that have still not been added to this game. Every other movie villain was shown love in Xenoverse 2, but for some reason, those two were just completely left out. So Garlic Jr. and Hachiyak, to me, definitely would be some cool additions to see in Xenoverse 2. Now, the last two characters I have on this list are ones that we kind of just saw for the first time in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and it would be kind of difficult to make a moveset for them, but I think a lot of people would actually be excited to see these characters, and that is Teen Goten and Teen Trunks. Now, again, they would have to make up some skills for these characters, but like I said earlier, we've definitely seen Dimps do that in these past DLCs. I mean, again, look at GT Vegeta. He is a very cool character, and his skills are pretty much made up for the most part. Look at Beast Gohan. The made up skills from him that aren't actually from the movie are damn cool. Demon Flurry is one of the best strike skills in the game, and well, that's a skill that Dimps made up themselves. Then you also have a character like Orange Piccolo. He has some very cool made up skills as well. So again, they've definitely made up some very fire skills for characters in the past on this game, and I would love to see something similar for Teen Goten and Teen Trunks as well if they actually ever did decide to add these characters into Xenoverse 2. And again, I do feel like a lot of people would actually appreciate having those characters in the game. There would definitely be some who would be like, man, why are they adding these in? But I think there would also be a good amount that would be hyped about them as well. So let me know how you feel about those two at the same time. Just like I wanted to see where you guys stand with Bergamo, Basil, and Lavender. Where do you stand with Teen Goten and Teen Trunks from Dragon Ball Super Superhero? But that right there, guys, is what, like 8, 9 characters or something like that that I just listed off, besides the 3 that I mentioned that I really would want to see in DLC 17 following that Reawakened Warrior themed pack. Because we listed off Basil, Bergamo, Lavender. That's 3 right there. We also had Shallot. We had Roshi. We had Garlic Jr. and Hachiyak. That's 7. And then Teen Goten and Teen Trunks. That's 9 characters right there. And these are 9 characters that, I'm not going to lie, kind of came to me right off the top of my head. Like, I put this list together besides the 3 that I mainly wanted. I put the other ones down in like a couple minutes. It really didn't take me much time to think about it. So I'm sure there's other characters that I even left off from this list that could still be added to Xenoverse 2. So again, for those who wonder what characters are left for this game definitely still does have characters that they can pull from for future DLC packs. Now, would I want Xenoverse 3 over future DLC on this game? Of course. But at the same time, I'm not the devs. I'm not Dimps. I'm not the one who controls whether or not we get a Xenoverse 3 or more DLC for Xenoverse 2. So if we are going to get more DLC, again, these are the characters that I would more like to see first, especially the first 3 that I mentioned in Majin 21, Ikari, Broly, and Rage Trunks. And again, that would follow that whole Reawakened Warrior theme pack that I kind of made up myself. And to me, that would be a very cool DLC. So let me know your thoughts on that as a DLC pack itself, and then also on the rest of the characters that I mentioned as well. And if there are any characters that are really prominent in Dragon Ball that I did not mention in this video, feel free to share that down below in the comments at the same time. But with that being said, man, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope you have a good one. Hey, y'all.